Finally warmed up here in North Idaho. We've got some good grass growth and it is time to get animals out on the pasture. All right, so it has been a long winter here in North Idaho, long and cold. Things have been slow to get started this year, but we're finally able to get animals out to pasture. And the last 6 months have consisted of managing the animals in the barn, building that deep litter system. You can check out that video if you want to. And then getting the pasture prepped. We took all that material from the winter time, all that manure that accumulated, which is great fertilizer, and we got it spread on the fields out here to fertilize them to help some of the weak areas along. Then we got our fences up, all our lanes for our rotational grazing, and I like to get as many of the seasonal fences up as we can so we don't have to move them around a whole lot during the season. We're only moving our divider paddocks. And then we actually got the animals out. We got them out a couple weeks ago. We finally got some good weather here. It was out in the rain, so we had to film it with the iPhones, and it was a pretty fun experience getting them out and trying to film it all the same time in that weather. I'm gonna cover this side, and we have a few people out there. The ruminants have all been, and the pigs have all been in the barn for the winter, so they've not been in motion of coming back and forth. And then we've had, in this case, several lambs born that have never even been out here, so they don't know the drill. So it's always kind of fun, a little bit of a family event. We get people together to get the animals out. And dairy cow, she's pretty easy. Tilly's easy to come along and get back and forth. The sheep, a little bit, not so much, because like I said, the older ones, they've done the drill, so they're pretty easy to come along when we get them out and point it in the right direction and get them remembering, like, oh yeah, there's good grass out here, good feed, I'm ready to go. The little lambs, they're born in the barn. They've had a little bit of handling and they're just wily. They were all over the place, and trying to wrangle them was pretty exciting, because they're just like little bullets just shooting off everywhere, have no idea where they're going, and haven't really known anything but just hanging out with Mama in the barn. Come on. All right. That was exciting, a lot of fun, but we got it done and got them out here. Pigs can be a challenge too. Of course, we're working with these coonies that are grazing pigs, and they're a little slower than a lot of your other kind of commercial breeds that are a little easier to work with. Sometimes they're actually the opposite. They're super slow. They're just like kick back, wandering along. You're gonna stay with Connor here. A couple of you go down this way to help us make sure they don't go toward the house. We always like to have a couple pig boards out. These are just some plywood boards with handles on them. It helps kind of guides the pigs, move them in the right direction. Our boar's got some pretty good sized tusks, so he's real gentle, but you don't want him to rub up against you or anything like that. We just lead those guys along, a little bit of grain, and usually they get out here, and once they're out here, they're good to go. They're on grass and they're happy, and they're then getting into their daily rotation. Now the broilers come out when they're ready. They don't get right to pasture. They've got to be brooded because they come in the mail as little baby chicks, right? So they spend about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks in the brood house or in the yard around it, getting used to being outside. They're a different deal. Then we just have to crate up and haul them out here and get them out to place. They're pretty easy, and once they're here, they're good to go, and they're just following along behind the pigs and the ruminants, cleaning everything up, adding their fertility, growing quickly. These ones here are only about a week away from getting processed. So once everybody's out, they're just moving through the pasture. Every day we move them. It's called management intensive grazing, and it's a little bit of work, but it's very, very worth it. What we're doing is, instead of giving them access to the whole field, they're getting their ration of feed within what we call a paddock measured out to them, and every day they just move forward and they get new grass and they move along and they move through this system. And we'll pass through this system 3 to 4 times in a year. As they get to the end of it and they loop back around and start in the bottom where we started. That keeps everybody fed, happy, and healthy until winter comes and the grass starts to die back and the snow starts to fall, and then we'll return them to the barn for the winter. Those animals that don't get processed and go into the freezer. So for more on our rotational grazing program here on our homestead, check out this video.